scratches. This is me 25,000 again with the part 2 of how to make an underrun game in Scratch. And as you can see, so far we have moving soul, and if I press the number keys I can change the soul type. We have a kind of soul, and we have just a soul type, space or Z to shoot. Also, if you have noticed, the jumping code is a bit more different, and that's because I got a physics engine. And this physics engine, so let me just show you here. Here's the physics engine. I edited a bit, so you can just quickly copy this physics engine right here, and you can pause the video while I slowly scroll down. Okay, so you can pause the video while to see the code. And here's the code of ground Y. So the ground Y code is it's not in the physics pack. This physics pack is made by Stephen the coder. So let me just show it right here. Yeah. So we have Stephen the coder username, and he has made a lot more text engines. He makes a lot of code engines here, and as you can see, there's Undertale Physics right here. I edited the physics a bit. I took some physics, edited a bit, and then we have our underrun game, Blue Soul Physics. So let's just load it up. Also, I changed the movement of each sprite to 8 or -8, so I can change that too. And make sure your ground wise the point where the soul is touching the ground. So you see, I press 2, then I jump around. So you can see I'm not exactly touching the ground, and that's because it doesn't enable me in the Intergrity sprite. Right here, pointed direction 90, if touching border, change y by 1, and then so on. We don't have the up arrow key change y by 8 because it's jumping, and the jump engine is already here. If I add the change y by 8, then it jumps higher and kind of messes up the curves. Also, we can remove this. We don't need the flying script here anymore. Okay, up arrow or double key is pressed. Also, I kind of forgot about this. I don't know why it keeps happening. Yeah, with the up arrow is completely fine, but with the W key, yeah, so I might just remove the W key code. So you can at times use the W key to move around, but for the integrity code, W is not an option. Also, here's a bit of code here. You can basically copy the code of the green flag and the controls, and you can take it for the jump physics and the FL jump physics or double jump physics, and remove the double jump. And we have plan X, plan Y, and basically it's for the kindness soul. There's kindness here. So at times we want to switch the kindness to here or here, so we have the plan X and plan Y as a common variable. The heart color you can delete, and the heart color is basically like our soul type, but except it's blue and cyan, but here it's more is determination, integrity or kindness or justice. Okay, then we have we can remove the gravity script. And first jump views we can keep, and this is basically everything that we have. So the code here is simple. If y position, just a minute. And let's just go through what this code does. So the y position, if it's more than floor y, then it changes if the boolean is not less, it's not less than the negative 9.5, which is the highest value it can go down, or the fastest value it can go down. Then it changes the jump boolean by negative 1.5. So that means the higher it is, the more faster it will get when it comes down. So you have almost good gravity kind of movement. We have up arrow, and if y position is equal to floor y, then the jump limit is 0, meaning that we can jump as much as we want. But the thing is here, this type of code is not meant for the platforms like you have in the sans fight, where you have to jump on platforms to avoid the bones are up or down. So that's why I have the what is this? Yes, we have ground wire. Ground wire is set to negative 161. But say if the player is touching a platform, then we are going to set its ground wire. So first we are going to change its y position by 1 and set its ground wire to negative 61. Uh, but we are also going to get an original ground wire later on in the code. So you can bear with that. Okay, we're going to set the jump boolean to 9, so it makes the jump boolean higher, and jump limit y1. So if the jump limit is much more than 10, then it doesn't apply this code. And then change y by jump boolean, that means change y by 9. Then if the jump limit is less than 10, it sets the jump boolean to 0, that means it's completely stopped in its track up here and it doesn't keep going up. And then wait 0.7 seconds, so then you have a waiting applied, so you have a bit of time to move around like this, almost like a, how you say, you go up then suddenly right. Yes, then we have set jump boolean to 6. I'll actually change it to 9. Actually no, 6. You set it a number a bit less, so then it doesn't really go that high. There we go. So you can do the short jumps, you can do the long jumps. It's basically how much you hold the up arrow key. Then again it changes the jump boolean just in case the jump limit is a bit off. And then finally if the y position is less than floor y, then set y to floor y and set jump boolean to 0. So say if for some reason uh, I got stuck here for some reason. It did happen in his code at times, but he used a touch ground type of code, and it wasn't really good because he had a different color here he used to detect, and so it could come out of the box. So that's why in my player movement script we have the borders to be avoided when pressing the right or left arrow key. He doesn't have it in his movement, so it basically breaks the whole point of the physics. So that's why I've updated it a bit to get it a more realistic feel, and not no such like bouncing like this how it usually happen in his code. And so that's all for the physics engine. You can check out its link. I'll send it in the description along with the project, so you can check it out and take the code itself and then make your own edits. But for now, my soul can jump about this high, up to negative 50 blocks almost. Yes, that's about negative 50 blocks or 50 blocks, or you can say 100 because this is 150 sort of. Anyways, that's our code for the this thing. I just edited it, and thank you, Stephen the coder, for your physics engine. I'll make sure to tag you along in my UnderRun project in the credits after this tutorial is over. So now that we are done with this, we are going to add a scoring system, or yeah, a scoring system that changes every time. So the credits here goes to our very much more favored Warframe. He is also a Scratch tutor, and he has much more tutorials than me, and much better, I guess. So you can subscribe to him. I'll send a link to his username in the description along with his YouTube channel, and I'll also put him in the credits because his clicker game, I'm using that engine or text engine where it updates to what the score is. So let's just name the score, and we'll take a white color and set it to pixel. Then start making the numbers here and name this to 1. Make it 2 and center it. 3. You can't really see it, so you have to be careful. Then we have 4, we have 5, we have 6, we have 7, we have 8, we have 9, and we have 0. So I don't think you really need an order for this, maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 10 as in 0. Also rename this to 0. Scratch auto corrects it to 10, but it's really just 0. After that's done, we'll do a green flag click. Then we're going to first make a variable called digits, sorry, digits, for this part only, and make a new variable called score. As you know, we already have it right here. So at first we're going to set our score to 0. Here, yes. Then we're going to set our digits to 1. Get a repeat loop, and I'm going to say about 4 or 5. Repeat 5 times, create new cell, and we're going to change our digits by 1, and then we're going to file. Okay, so now we're done with the original sprite, and let's start working on the clones. So when I start as a clone, we will show and forever. I should not just show this here, it will be there forever. So let's just get this and see how it goes. We have 0, 0, we have multiple clones. So we have multiple clones here. As you can see, we have 5 clones and the original sprite is hidden. It's here. So now what we'll do with this code. So I'm going to get a go to y150 and x position. Now here's a tricky bit. We're going to get a digits, a plus operator and a multiplication operator. We get the plus here for 2 to 5 and 18. This should work. Negative 2 to 5. Okay, it's right here. Not negative 2 to 5, maybe negative 160, negative 140, negative 120, negative 100, negative 50. Let me just hide the border so I can actually see where they are. Right. Okay, so they're still there. Maybe switch this to 18 and this to 100. Okay, yes, so it's working. Maybe negative 5. Okay, how about negative 9? So that's the spacing there. The multiplication takes care of the spacing, so we'll do negative 18 just so it appears there. Now we are going to try to get this here. So do just one. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4.5 should be good. And we're going to change the spacing by 0.5. Oh, wait. By 16. And then we can change this to 2, 3, 4, 3.5. 3.6, 0.7. Okay, so that looks good. And then we're going to do a forever, not forever, but if else, if digits and length, so length of score, which is going to be 1. Okay, so if length of score is lesser than digits, it's going to show or it's going to hide. Okay, maybe it's actually the opposite way around. Nope, hold on a second. Length of score, that's 1. If 1 is less than digits, so set digits to 1, change digits to 1. Okay, yeah. How do I do this? It's been a long time since I made this code again. So length of code is less than digits. That means 1 is less than the number of digits. Less than 1 is less than 2. Okay, no, we have to greater than, but we have to also make sure that the code here also detects if it's of okay, so we have to make sure that the length of score here is detects this what here. So length of score is greater than digits. You can do greater than or you can do lesser than. It basically takes that, but it doesn't get the equal to code in here. So we are going to do our length of code is equal to digits, and this should show a 0 right here. Yes. And I should maybe change this from -1 and do this to 5. I think that's what. Okay, I'm not sure why this one is here. I think it's actually meant for the this side part of code. I'm not really sure about this. So let's see. So it sets the digits to 5, and this is 5. It's -1. So 4, 3, 2, 1. I keep going back there. So I think maybe if I do 16 and then I do a -3.5. Okay, that's how it works. -5, -6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now instead of the high, let's just do a forever show. Okay, so the other code is still there. Let's maybe change the spacing to 17 and do this to -9. Okay, -9 seems good. Where is the other? Is this another one that's hidden in the back? Sure, where that's happening. Let's get a hide. Let's maybe restart the code. Okay, yes. So as I can see, we have one score here and it shows the score. So let's get change score. Change score by 1. Oh wait, I completely forgot. Switch costume to letter digits of score. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we have 10 here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so we can just go 10 and skip all the way to 100. You can do a change 1, so yes, that works. Change by 50. Yes, now we have 1000, and then soon we should reach to the point of, we should soon reach to the point of 10,000. Yes, so that's going to be the limit there. So if I just do a 99999, so as you can see, it doesn't really change the code here. So if you see the score, it's still missing a few digits behind the 8 and a 2. So my Undertale score isn't really going to go too far to these massive numbers. So that's why we only have 5 digits. So we don't have too many clones here because I'm going to have a ton of clones of projectiles and all. And we just want a small number of clones. And with this simple code from Warframe, we created a score system. And thank you Warframe again. Thank you Warframe for this code, this tutorial. My whole channel here about the scratch tutorials is because of Warframe. So please go to his channel and subscribe to him. And I think he is switching to JavaScript or Python, one of those things. I'm pretty sure he's going to change soon. Maybe Unity. Let's just ignore that fact and continue with our code. So now we have the score system, and now we need a first projectile and a first mode game. So let's first create the modes. Also, there's going to be Undertale music here. So credits to Toby Fox for all the Undertale music later on. So let's just name this mode, and let's just stay simple here and start with the toriel mode, meaning all the toriel attacks, the fire attacks will come. I'll take this pale pale medium lavender, and I'll make sure that this is 0 0, and I'll uh, estimate where the mode is here. So you can always see it in the back, and also make sure it's 0 0, so the position is always correct. Try to resize it to, okay, maybe just, no, there we go. So now we have the total mode. Let's just switch this to tutorial. Also, I won't be doing Undyne the Undyne costume names. Instead, I'll do Undyne 1, Undyne 2, and Undyne 3. Just in case you don't know, Undyne without or Undyne with the helmet, Undyne without the helmet, and finally Undyne the Undyne. And there's all the musics here, except for maybe the chase music. It's a bit wrong here. But we won't be focusing on that today. We are just going to be focusing on trying to make tutorials attacks. So at the beginning we are going to do this, and we are also going to take another green flag, do a forever, and we're going to do switch costume to attacker, and at the beginning we will set attacker to toriel. Next we want to start shooting toriel's clones here, and we are going to use a lot of custom blocks here. So when green flag click, set attacker tutorial. Also make sure it goes to 0 0 while changing its costume. And we're also going to get another forever, and we're going to sounds. So this is where the music comes in. There's always going to be a pause here. There's going to be a pause for Toriel's attacks here. There's all of toriel's attacks, so like it will wait a few seconds, let the music run for some time, and then her attacks will start coming. There'll be a row of there'll be a row of all the attacks coded in. Then the next two attacks are going to be random, either a row of fire or multiple fireballs or homing fireballs. Those are the three type of attacks that toriel does. So let's just first upload the sound. I'll so here's the sound here. I have a folder of Undertale, all the music that I'm going to be using, except for which one is here. I need to delete one of these. I completely forgot to do that, so sorry about that. I think it was Undertale. Yes. So we have to delete this one because this is the chase music, but there's still the background noise of the spheres, and it doesn't really match with the here. So I'm going to delete that, and this all the rest that we are going to be using. Everything else here, Megalovania, Glistil, Vanta Black, darker, darker, yet darker. Yes, I'm going to be adding Aster. I guess now you find out. Darker, darker, yet darker, ultimate remix, so on, so on. Actually, I am not sure if I'm going to be using the monster code here, so you can see darker, darker, yet monster. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using that, but for now, we're going to get where is it? Tutorial theme. It's called, I think it's called Heartache. Yes, it's called Heartache, and it's 108. It's an MP3. So you can see that's tutorial's theme. So we are going to apply that to our code. I'll send in the folder link to download the folder later on in my descriptions. So let's just do play sound, and instead we're going to do a costume number here. So the first one, since this is the first costume number tutorial and this is the first sound, so that means it's going to play soundtrack number one, which is Heartache. So we're also going to make sure that we have a wait 0.1 second or 0.05 seconds. So you have a bit of delay before it suddenly plays its music. Maybe 0.0. So we started. Maybe just a 1 second delay. Sure. So there's a delay there, and then it plays the tutorial music. So now we also let me just make the delay a bit longer, maybe 1.9. That should be long enough. Okay, so that means the player has enough time to react to the movement. So so we are also going to duplicate this 1.9 seconds here, and this is going to start making the projectiles. So let's make a new custom block. Call this summon projectiles. Then we're going to do wait. Also going to make sure projectiles add in the divider 2 times. Then we're going to do some projectiles. We're going to do direction. So direction means where it's coming from, or so you know what? Let's just do direction. Then input and call this dir, which is direction. We are going to do a delay, add in the input and do time. We're going to add the speed. Actually, no, not the speed, but what is it? Yes, the attack plan. So this is an important aspect if you are going to try making different attacks, and we are just going to do type. So the direction where it's coming from and how much is the delay between the different type of attacks that are soon going to come. Like one fireball at a time or multiple fireballs at a time. Then we have the attack plan, which is either it's a fireball or a fireball. There's a lot of difference between those things. So we have the type. Then we're going to get an extra. We're going to do an extra here, and for now we're just going to do ex. So extra is going to come later on, and by extra it's like animation for it. And since we are going to have one attack at a time and not multiple attacks at a time, the extra here, it just in case if we have an extra attack, then the extra plan will come here. So we are going to not run it without screen refresh, and we're going to just put it here. So this summon projector is really simple code here. So let's make a variable and name it left right, and this is for all sprites. Then we're going to do up and down. Again, this is for all sprites. So this is going to determine whether this direction variable is going to be this. So we are also going to get a random direction variable for the untimed fight. So we are going to also make a pick random 1 to 4 here, and we are going to or U, D, R and L. U, D, R and L, that's up, down, left, right. So we are going to do, also we are also going to get in a new one and put in the difficulty. So each attack, it adds its own difficulty, and the difficulty, and we are just going to do repeat. So the difficulty means how many attacks, how many repeat it's going to have, and just add it there. So first let's work on the direction. So we're going to set up, down, left, right. We are going to be using the whole letter here, and left, right here. So we're going to put this in an if else statement. So if, and we are going to get an all and equal to, then we're going to do if the direction is equal to up, and we have to make sure this is capital, and later on when you're making your own attacks you have to make sure that the up down is capital. So if there is up or down, then set the up down to dir. If not, then set left right to dir. So basically if it's not up or down, that means it's either left or right, and then you can set the left or right to right. And if you're wondering why we can't do it in a simple code here, is because as you can see in the code here, we have change x, change y, and x and y are different and they don't have a xy position unless you make a variable for that. And it's going to kind of big time consuming, and this is also time consuming, but for now we are going to be working with this. Then we are going to do a delay. The delay is, so first the repeat, let's do repeat times, and we are going to do wait here again, wait delay times, and we are going to do create clone of myself. So let's just create a new sprite called it Projectiles, and we'll get back to the mode code. Okay, so create clone of Projectiles, and it's going to wait the delay times. Okay, and then at the beginning here also we're going to set our attack plan to attack plan. So let's just make a new variable, call it attack plan. So it can be the single, it can be a homing, it can be multiple homings, it can be a rain. So there's different type of attack plans here, and if it depends on which attacker and what costume it is later. So attack plan is for all sprites, and set the attack plan here to the type, which is a tag command. And we are not going to add the extra code just yet. Extra code can either be the animation of the fireball and all, but I'm not having a animation here just yet, so we are not going to have an ex code just yet. So now we are done with the code for the summoning projectiles. Now let's go to the actual projectiles. So when green flag clicked, we're going to hide. Then when green flag click, hide. And when I start as a clone here, we're going to show, and we're going to do an if else. So if else, if left right, so let's just find the, so this one doesn't really go with the up down code, the fireballs, so we are only going to have a left right code. If if left right is equal to left, so let's just quickly make the fireball script. Okay, so we are done with this fireball. Let's just center this. Now just change the size of it. Now let's take it to the center of this. Let's get a darker maroon-like ball. So this is basically like the stone in the fire. So that's basically how the toriel fireballs look if they have color. So basically Undertale is actually black and white type of code during the battle mode, but here I'm just going to add colors. And later on, once I'm done with all the projectile script for the whole game, then we're going to move on to the characters. If they have any additional attacks from their own character sprites. Okay, and so this we're going to name this fireball. Okay, no, actually we're going to name this to actually fireball only. So if it's equal to left, we're just going to also let's just add the show. So projectile simple shop. Okay, so uh, just forever if touching. I just want to make sure that this is not touching the borders because the border is how it's going to delete itself. So forever touching borders, geographical effect, or change. There's any way to detect it. So it's touching. Okay, so now we're gonna change y. Sorry, change x. Okay, so from negative 35, it doesn't touch. So we're going to make sure it goes to sorry, not negative 35 but negative 218. So go to x, oh sorry, set x to negative 28 or set it to positive 218. Okay. I'm pretty sure that mm, I'm not sure if the border is the same way it is. Hoping is the same way. But we can check it after launching the projectiles. So we're going to do also we have to get the code for the up down later on. But let's just focus on the moment. So forever, actually not a forever, but I repeat until touching borders, move 10 steps. And also we're going to do an if else and to make sure actually we can do it right here. Set rotation style to left right and here, because as you see in the online fight the projectiles can move diagonally or up and down, but left right just make sure that it can is just left or right. You can see it doesn't completely rotate, so set it back to 90. Okay, so repeat into that, and this is where the if else comes in for the attackers. So if, or actually what the costume is, and we are also going to get a if else for the costumes. Actually we have to also make a we'll make a custom block for it. So and costume change. Okay, we're going to get a costume change if else, and if the attacker is equal to toriel, and toriel, if it's toriel, it can be either a firewall or this, but we have the attack plan here, and that gets rid of this. So let's switch it to attack plan. If attack plan is equal to, so for now it's going to be single, so we're just going to switch costume to firewall. And then the next time is going to be a firewall or a homing one. Or maybe we can, or we also have the homing one, and homing one uses the same firewalls, right? So we can use the firewalls too. Okay, so now that we have done with the costumes, we are going to get the moving. So if it's equal, so if okay, if yes, so now that we have costumes checked, we're going to do the costume name. If costume name is equal to firewall, I'm going to say it moves about 7 steps or 8.5. So we have a 8.5 moving projectile, and it knows where it's going to point. Also, we are going to make sure it points in the correct direction. So if it's from the left, it should point in this direction towards 90. If it's on the right though, we're going to make sure that it points at negative 90. So we're going to forward move until it reaches the border. Then it's just going to delete the clone. And later on, maybe once we get the bomb projectile, when we have the Metatron flight, then we're going to add a if else, and then if it's equal to attacker is equal to Metatron, and the costume number is costume name is equal to bomb, then it's going to create clone of the bomb explosion. But now we don't have that, and let's um, So let's just add in the code to get in the first projectile. So direction, it's for the first one is going to come from the right. Having difficult. Okay, right. So it's going to be right. As you can see here, if it's left or right. If it's right, and the delay, so the delay is between the costume script, and I'll say the delay is about 1.2. Remember, we are going to also add a hard mode of UnderRun by remixing the project later on, and you can edit it by yourself. We're going to get an attack plan. The attack plan is going to be single. So, and the attack is toriel here, and it's single, so that means it will switch to the fireball, and it doesn't really have another costume to change. So we have the extra code. Extra by leaving it blank, and difficulty, that means how many fireballs can spawn at one whole attack, not the whole attack, but like just say like one fireball wave comes in at you, and then how many of them will come. So I'm estimating that about 3 or 4 can come. So pick random 3 or 4. Actually 2 and 4. There we go. So now we have the difficulty, and we should have the projectiles coming at us soon. Yes, we have 5 projectiles. Um, Alright, I forgot. The difficulty actually is included. Okay, we have to add a new one, but difficulty I forgot. We actually have to set the difficulty to 35, not 35, not 35 only, or 15. So we'll have 15 waves of fireballs, and we'll have to edit it again and add in uh, chance, and we're going to do, so in the difficulty, instead of the repeat, we're going to rename it to wave, and here in the chance we're going to have uh, chance. Okay, so the chance here is going to be pick random 1 to 4, and difficulty repeat. Then we're going to do in the repeat wave, create from projectiles. We're going to get another repeat here and repeat the chance times. What's the chance? Okay. You can always leave it at 1, so then it only spawns in 1 at a time. Okay, so now this should work properly as intended. You see that's happening. Okay, now we have to make sure that the projectiles get randomly positioned. So instead of your costume change, we're also going to do position. We're just going to rename it position slash costume change. Okay. So if attacker is equal to toriel, toriel really doesn't, or actually she does. So we're going to do, if attack plan is equal to single, then it goes to sets y to set the y to pick random from negative 160 to positive 160. Now we should have random fireballs coming from here. Okay, so we have uh, Not sure why. Oh right, because I completely forgot about adding position change and costume here. So let's do that. Okay, now it should apply it. Yes. So now we have fireballs coming. But I want these fireballs to actually kind of home towards the player, or like come near, more near to the player, but not that near. So we're going to get a backdrop number of stage, switch that stage to player, and we're going to do minus. We're going to do exposure of player minus pick random. We're going to do from -50 to +50. So near somewhere that number, and this is actually y, so we're going to switch it there. So it's going to go to player's y position, and it's going to either plus it or minus it. This, and this should work. Actually, let me just make this a positive. So y position of player and oops, y position of player plus so it can be either -50 or +50, and this should come somewhere near the player, but I'm going to make this a bit less accurate. This should be the first right, and it should be easy. So yes, so as you can see, this is coming much more near the player, and it can be random from 4 3. It's mainly coming as 4. So let me just see. Pick random from 1 to 4 and then repeat chance times in the wave. Yeah, let's maybe switch it to 3. It repeats chance times, which can be either 1 or 2. Wait, let's actually do 3 because in the chance, it only calculates the chance by 1. So we're going to do pick random from 1 to chance. So that becomes 3. Now we should have multiple. So now we have a 2, we have a 2 again. Now we have a 3, we have a 1, another 1, we have a 3, and a 2. Okay. Also, one more thing I wanted to change here is change the player size. So I tried changing it to 85, but it doesn't really match the size. Maybe 75. Okay, good. That is kind of the position. Okay, maybe just make it 85, but let's make the fireballs a bit bigger. So let's come here and make them bigger here itself. Make it a bit smaller, and make sure to make it at the center of this, the brown ball. Okay, so now this should be as how I expected it. Okay, good. So it slowly comes toward or near us. You can see none of them are spawning here, and I can't really just take damage from them here. So in the next tutorial, I'll work on a health bar for the player at the bottom of the screen, somewhere here, and that's also by Warframe, so credits to him. And it's going to be a pen health bar, but it's a bit more different than how he made his health bar. So anyways, that's it for this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.